I've got two questions for you on this game, though. So, the first one about Man City. So, um, there's been a lot of speculation about Pep. Whether he's going to be staying till the end of the season and if he's going to be here after this season. I think the president or the hopeful president for Barcelona has come out and said that he wants Pep back at Barcelona as well, which can kind of put things in whether it's put in Pep's head or Man City's head or the players or anything like that. But with how poor Man City are doing this season, and you know they didn't do that great last season either. Do you think that's had any effect?
Possibly. I know Pep's come out and said his time at Barcelona is done and he wouldn't go back, but of course you're going to say that while you're hired by someone.
How many players say that about clubs? And
Yeah, you're not going to come out and he's not a football manager. You're not going to be like, yeah, I want to go. See you later, mate. Um, but possibly it could have had a big question mark over them.
And with everything that Man City's obviously done and Pep's done for Man City, obviously spent a lot of money, but the stuff that is won is won everything apart from Champions League, which this could be his last chance. Do you think they're going to give him the chance if this poor form continue?
I think he'll stay until the end of the season. Obviously, his contract's up at the end of the season anyway. So I think he'll stay unless they go out possibly in the Champions League round of 16 and they're still struggling in the league. Then I think he might go. The thing is, I don't see him being sacked, but I also don't see him walking away. That's the thing.
I think that's it. So I think you've got a stature of managers that because they've done so much, you kind of can't get rid of them for that club. And I think he's there, and I think not that there's any pressure on Klopp, but I think Klopp's there as well because it is an absolute legend for Liverpool. He's the only manager that's ever won them in Premier League.
And
but he also won them Champions League season before as well.
You look at the other table, Burnley, Sheffield United. You've got Wilder and Dyche who have done wonders with them clubs, so they're probably up there as well.
Yeah, but the likes of Lampard's done wonders as a player, but as a manager, he hasn't for Chelsea. He's only been there just over a year. And then you've got Solskjaer as well, who again is a legend at Man United, but not as a manager. So they're the kind of managers that could easily get sacked. But then you've got Pep that can he really do anything wrong, and keep his job or lose his job kind of thing. But the other question that I have for you as well is Liverpool question, and you briefly spoke about this when the teams was announced, but what do you make to starting these four together? Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think this is? I think I said this to you as well. Do you think he's got faith and he likes Firmino, so he's going to play Bobby, but he can't really not play Jota, who was kind of brought in as a backup, but because he's been scoring, you can't not start him. But I think playing all them four together is a bit too much.
I didn't like the four, especially against City, possibly against some of the lower teams. I mean, he did against Sheffield United, but it wasn't great. But as controversial as this is going to be, I still would have started Firmino over Jota in this game because we lost something when Firmino went off, and that's when it all changed. And like I say, Jota's been in fantastic goal-scoring form, and he deserves his chance. But this is the sort of game that Firmino excels in, not obviously statistically, but what he does in that role. The sort of games that he loves. So I can understand why he didn't want to pick between them.
But you just got too many I'm not saying egos because I don't think the players with egos. I think Salah and Mane's kind of got a bit of an ego, but you've got the big strikers who want to be scoring the goals, all fighting for it, and you've got too many of them. I think that was a big issue.
I mean, to be honest, it worked in this game. Mane was sublime defensively. He was tracking back all game long. The only time he didn't was the goal. That was the only time he caught himself out of position. But the amount of times the ball came over towards Torres on the wing or Walker on that wing, and Mane was there to intercept. It really did work. And it perhaps would have been different had Fabinho been available, because obviously he's a bit more defensive. He'd have been a bit better in that role. But for me, it was too much overrun in the midfield, and it showed in the end.
Definitely something that you don't want to be seeing week in, week out.
No. I expected De Bruyne to do more, a play of his quality. I expected him to pick us apart in midfield. But obviously he's coming back from an injury. That's potentially why he's not quite fully sharp
there's that,
yet.
and there's the confidence at Man City. It's just not there at the moment. Man City are 10th, so for Man City to be mid-table on 12 points at this stage, you can understand it after 2-3 games, but not after 7 games for Man City. Not after the last couple of seasons what you've had, and for them to just not look like they're going to be scoring goals either, it's just mind-boggling. And this draw for Liverpool, obviously prevented them from going to the top of the league as well. But they still sit third on 17 points, 1 point behind Leicester, who is top.
Yeah. Just one more on that. I imagine he's going to try and get Firmino doing what Coutinho was doing when he was here, in that sort of, advanced midfield role, but actually in a free midfield. I think that's what he'll try and do there. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, because obviously we've only lost that one league game so far this season.
It is, but I think, as you mentioned over the past couple of weeks, is the wins that you've had, you haven't deserved them all, have you?
No, I think I'm sort of expecting a bit too much from Liverpool. I'm expecting us to go out there and beat every team 4 or 5-0.
I don't think you're looking
And
good. I don't
I
think you've
expected
looked
that
good
last
since.
season, and we didn't do that. But we said we grinded out wins, and
I don't think you've looked good since the restart, to be honest with you.
we didn't look good before it.
Yeah, but
yeah, like you say, it's a point. Unfortunately, not where we wanted to be now. Top, obviously, down in third.
it's a point
all the way
against
down
top
there.
6, and it's a point against it's a point against top 6, and it's a point against a rival. A Premier League contender.
And like I say, without a Van Dijk in there, who is obviously a massive player, it's a big point in that regard. Obviously, City are missing players themselves, but yeah, you say you don't lose anything against someone that you're technically competing against. So
yeah, and a few weeks ago, Liverpool had a poor result against Aston Villa, and Aston Villa kind of continued that form against the top 6 clubs when they beat Arsenal 3-0 in the last game of the weekend.